Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name is Wendy Wing. I'm doing a reading for the collective. So welcome, collective. All is well in your world. So since this is a reading for the collective, I'm tuning into general energies and not one person's specific energies. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Wow, a lot of reversals right off the bat. Let's see what's going on. So, collective, in the past, you were in the energy of Two of Cups in reverse, coming together. So, in reverse, coming apart. This feels like an emotional bond. Or it was an emotional bond. Ooh, yeah. Boy, I'm getting a lot of information. This feels like, I mean, we haven't even gotten to family pattern, but I'm getting that there is a pattern already coming through of you coming together, wanting a connection, having a connection with someone, and there being some type of third party. It feels like the feeling of not being chosen, of we'll get into the family pattern later. This feels like this is a somewhat recent past. So it feels like, yet again, that feeling of this isn't how I expected it to turn out. I'm getting very loudly that three's a crowd and feeling isolated and alone. This definitely, it feels like you might have stayed in these type of connections because of financial security. Wanting financial or some type of security, stability. And so it feels like staying in the connection, even though there's no emotional support, no love, no connection, staying in it for and getting the waiting. There's just a lot of waiting to see if things would change, waiting to see if you could heal the connection, waiting to see if, waiting for your own stability so you feel strong enough to leave. There's just, there's a lot of confusion. Yeah, trying to figure out, and a lot of heartache and pain coming through with us. So yeah, okay, in present time, you're in the energy of love in reverse. So partnership in reverse. So right now, it feels like you're, whether you are surrounded by people or not, it feels like you are very isolated, not feeling in connection. Feels like this is a pretty normal, typical way of being, with some aspects and times where you felt very connected. I think that's why the emotional pain is coming up. It's like, oh no, not again. Feels like right now there's a lack of balance, and you might be feeling overwhelmed. Some of this might have to do with your stability, with your finances, your home, emotions. Feel like you want a commitment. You want a long-lasting commitment. You want your ride or die. You want people around you who support and care for you, and you care for them as well. Oh, okay. There's some kind of, something is coming up around right now around forgiveness and trust. How can you close the door on, so you can let go of these past hurts? Forgiveness is not about, I forgive you, now you have complete access to me. Forgiveness is letting go of the burdens of these past hurts and traumas, and whatever you need to do to finalize this, to close the door. And so you could move on without, there's just this heaviness in this reading today. Sadness and heaviness. Let's get to the family patterns, because right off the bat, it felt like a family pattern that's coming up, and that's why it's so heavy. The family pattern is Three of Swords in reverse. Sadness and isolation. So yeah, there is this family pattern of having to heal yourself. It doesn't feel like you had a loving, caring, nurturing guardians, whether they're parents or whoever were your caretakers. There was a lot of feeling isolated, being alone, needing to follow your own inner guidance because of neglect. It feels like neglect in the least, and abuse in the most, and for some of you, both, and everything in between and more. Deep breaths. So you would have to heal from the heartaches and the difficulties and traumas that you went through in the past growing up by yourself. I'm getting that as a soul, choosing this family of origin that was very dark, had very dark, dense energies, knowing that you wouldn't fit in, knowing that you would probably do whatever you could to dim your light so you could fit into the system, but realize that this just is not you. Yeah. So it feels like you have spent a great deal of your life caught between toxic family patterns and traumas from that family of origin, and having to heal yourself. Feels like you've had a lot of rebirths. somewhere inside you, you've known that there's a part of you wanting to fit in so much and wanting that connection with the family, and then also realizing, having another aspect of you that's like, I don't fit in. They don't see me correctly. How could I ever fit in? They don't keep with people who don't see me correctly, who don't see my light, that can't hear me, that don't protect me, that don't care for me. That it feels like a lot of lip service, people saying one thing and their actions not aligning with the truth. I feel like there's so much purpose coming through in this right now with this, wanting to have the strength, the inner strength to release those who are not in alignment with you. And it feels like that's a lot of having to clean a lot of people off your slate. Feels like having to really trust your inner guidance and have a lot of faith. Wow, this feels like instead of having faith in the people around you, having an inner faith and an inner guidance, despite how they project their limitations. And it feels like a lot of it's like the ugly duckling story on steroids. Like, you didn't fit into this family. You kept trying to get them to see you correctly, and they just can't, or they're unable, they're unwilling. And so it's also created in when you went out into the world, connecting with people who have that same lower vibration, very different vibration than yours. And so having very unfulfilling relationships that might start off with a bang and then just slowly die off into something very familiar from your childhood. Okay. Personal issues. 9 of Wands in reversed. Rest and reconsider. Nine of Wands is boundaries, wounded warrior, exhaustion. In reverse, it's, in reverse, your personal issue around not taking care of yourself, not taking a step back. Okay. When you've been betrayed by your family of origin, betrayed in relationships sense, whether they're romantic or friendships. It feels like a personal issue is that you haven't really digested and processed in the past. At least there's this massive betrayals, and then you move on. Maybe this is part of a family pattern as well as a personal issue, pretending like nothing had ever happened, staying around the people who treated you horribly, staying around your abusers. A lot of pretending, ignoring the truth, even though you know the truth, some part of you waiting for things to change. Ooh, that was in the original, in the past, with this past relationship, waiting for things to change, even though you know the truth of the betrayal. There's this doubt. So a personal issue is not really taking time to rest and consider, not allowing yourself to grieve, not allowing yourself to speak your truth. I get why it's hard, because it feels like you against the world. So if you speak your truth, you're speaking against many people. Sharing a lie, unwilling to look at the truth or talk about the truth or do anything to heal. And so you have to go it alone. It takes a lot of bravery. What I'm getting is there's a lot of bravery to heal, to trust yourself, to know your own truth, to raise your vibration, to separate from those who are not for your highest and greatest good, and to have faith as your vibration raises that people will come in and you will get the help that you need, the support, the guidance. All right. Conscience. What you would do if no one were to judge you. Move in reverse. So there's this partnership and this coming together, loving coming together, and in reverse, this is separation. This is what you would do if no one were there to judge you, is you would move away from those who you feel you know are not for your highest and greatest good. Those who, yes, 8 of Cups, you'd move away from that energy. You'd leave. There's nothing fulfilling in these 8 Cups. There's disappointment. Know when to walk away. And this person is walking away alone. It's tough. It's tough. There are 8 cups, but there's nothing satisfying in them. It feels like there's a lot to lose. It feels like those could be 8 people. A group of people, doesn't have to be 8 at all. Just a lot of people, a lot of disappointments. The beautiful thing is that what happens next in the 8 of Cups is 9 of Cups. When you move away from things that are disappointing and not emotionally fulfilling, then you get to your 9 of Cups. Moving away from people who have huge egos. People who have narcissistic tendencies and large egos, they come off at first being very confident, but it's a facade. It's just a flat presence. Behind that is someone who's incredibly someone who lacks confidence, someone who's really insecure. It feels like if this is your reading and this is resonating, then they project, you have this beautiful light about you and this ability to heal because you've healed yourself time and time and time again. And so you have built up an inner strength, an inner knowing, having to love yourself. And it feels like when you move away from these connections, that there's a lot of people discrediting you. And it takes a lot of bravery to know, yes, they're talking about me behind my back, half-truths, painting a picture. There's just a lot of pain coming up with that. And yet it feels like, and I know all that to be true, and I'm going to walk away because, you know, they're in a vibration and staying in it, and it feels like you're wanting to leave. And it feels like that's the cost of, oh, that's the cost of you leaving, is like an ego death, you having to leave your ego behind. Ego is about how, partially about how others are perceiving you being more important than the truth of who you really are. So knowing all of this, separating yourself from people who don't serve your highest and greatest good anyway, choosing yourself and allowing what others want to perceive about you to be whatever that's going to be, focusing on who you know you to be, yourself to be. All right, in the center of your reading, oh wow, is Blossom, your higher self. In the very center of your reading, what this is about is you blossoming. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm getting a couple things, that you have been in kind of like a seed formed with this hard shell, and you have never been planted in a rich soil and been watered. You have never been in a place where you can blossom, where you can break through that shell, where you can be in rich soil to grow roots. This, I'm also getting, this is about your happiness. That is why this is so heavy and dense energy, is because as you work through these issues, as you work through whatever you are processing right now, on the other side of this is a great deal of happiness, sunshine, youthfulness, joy like you've never experienced before. It feels like in this picture, the sunshine, this ball of light, is coming from her chest area, heart. So allowing you to really be yourself, and see how what you focus on is yourself, your heart, that beautiful heart space, and focusing it on what you do want, and see what grows from that. Now I can feel the energy shifting. Now I can see why there's this energy all around the center of your reading that is very heavy. It feels like you're ready for a very big breakthrough. Yeah, that's it's always darkest before the dawn. What is that? Something like that. That's what I'm getting, is you're really close to, yeah, you, so right now you're being given the opportunity to let down your burdens. You've been overstressed. You've been carrying lies for others. You've been carrying the pain and sorrow that others have put on you. You have carried their projections. And it's time, it's burnt you out. You might have been exhausted recently. It's time to release these burdens. What is it that you need to do to finally close the door on someone or situation or situations or people? What would it give you the final, what it feels like, since you've been waiting for and trying to heal this connection and getting them to see you correctly, if you've come to the conclusion that they are not, what is it that you need to do? What is it that you need to give yourself permission to do or to say so you can close that door? And still stay aligned with who you are. And I'm getting like a lot of shoulds, like limiting, like seeing love as only lamb and gentle and tender. And sometimes love can be very fierce, like a lion. Standing up for others, standing up for yourself, loving yourself so radically that you create healthy boundaries, that you make decisions to take care of yourself. Oh, I could feel the shift in the energy, like I love is this, and that love can be like a lion and everything in between. All right, your challenge right now, is 7 of Pentacles, awaiting results. Your challenge is that you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And there's nothing growing on this tree. There aren't leaves. Waiting for something different, some type of result, some type of harvest. While you've been planted in soil where you cannot grow. Your challenge is to get out of waiting for others to heal, waiting for others to admit what they've done, waiting for others to change, waiting for others to be who you want them to be in order for you to be happy. What I'm getting is it's time to release these burdens, to close the door. If you have a calling or somewhere or something to step forward in faith with that. All right, I'm going to end the reading here. If you want to continue this reading, there's a link down below to Patreon, and there we'll look at desire, lesson, and advice, and finish up your tarot reading. And then I'll move to a psychic meditation where we can clear any of these heavy energies, anything that's been activated in this reading, and we can clear those and amplify what you do want, what would be helpful for your next steps. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I look forward to seeing you guys in the extended reading. Bye.